Good evening, Jeff Vaughn alongside Susie Suh, and we begin KCAL9 News 8 o'clock with breaking news out of East LA. A car chase came to a deadly end at a park.
A shootout left 2 deputies shot and a suspect dead.
A shooting happened at Salazar Park near Whittier Boulevard.
Tonight, KCAL9's Jeff Nguyen is live in East LA with the very latest for us now. Jeff?
Susie and Jeff, we've been here for about half an hour, and with each passing minute, more and more resources from the LA County Sheriff's Department is showing up. You can see right behind me over this way, there is a SWAT truck, a number of black and white units moving around Salazar Park right now. We can tell you a number of streets in this area is completely sealed. Right behind us is the command post right here, and when you look right down this alley, that is where the park is. But we've been seeing from Stu Mundell's live shot from the chopper, most of this is happening on the other side of where we are on the south end of this park. Let's go ahead and kick it up to video from Sky 9 earlier to give you a look of what's been going on. We've been seeing a number of LA County Sheriff's deputies surrounding a dark car at the end of this park, which is Salazar Park. Now, this comes after a deputy involved shooting. What led up to the shooting is still unclear. What we can tell you is that the shooting happened just around 6 o'clock this evening at Salazar Park. We have been told that 1 suspect is dead, 2 deputies injured. Both have been taken to the hospital. We spoke to the Sheriff's Department moments ago. Here's what the Sheriff's Department is confirming for the time being. Take a listen.
Approximately 6 o'clock, our East LA Sheriff Station deputies were involved in a deputy-involved shooting right here on the corner of 3000 block of Whittier Boulevard. What we can tell you at this moment is we did have 2 deputies that were struck by gunfire by suspect or suspects, and all we know right now is 1 suspect was also struck by gunfire, and he is deceased at the moment.
So to summarize, 2 deputies injured following a gunfight. We don't know their condition right now. 1 suspect is dead. Right now, the Sheriff's Department isn't saying whether that suspect was hit by gunfire by the Sheriff's deputy or by one of the other suspects. At this point, what we've been hearing from our sources is that 2 people are under arrest, and right now, as you can see, a lot of activity right now, so they are still trying to figure out if anyone else is missing. But right now, most of the streets around Salazar Park closed as you are looking at Whittier Boulevard right now. But we can tell you, again, 2 deputies were injured in this deputy-involved shooting. That's the latest from here in East LA. We'll send it back to the studio.
Okay, Jeff, thank you. And Stu Mundell is over the scene tonight, live in Sky 9.
So, Stu, what can you tell us, and especially about that suspect that is at large at this hour?
Well, they are searching for 1 other suspect, and where this person comes from is still kind of a little bit of a question. We do know 2 deputies were shot. We're hearing that they're in stable condition. This is the actual shooting scene that we're showing you right there. That black vehicle at the end, that BMW, that was the suspect's vehicle. Short pursuit brought it inside the park. This is actually on the park property, and it came to an end by a fence right there. Now, deputies were involved in that shooting, and there must have been very tense moments here as those 2 deputies were struck, and that 1 suspect passed away. We also know another suspect was taken to a hospital for injuries as well. Now, there is some talk about that missing or a search that may or may not be happening here shortly. I'm sure that the Sheriff's Department is going to be kicking that search off shortly. That road that we're showing you right here, this is going to be Hicks, and this is actually ends right here at Salazar Park. There were many reports that they saw somebody running from the scene in this area right here between Hicks and Dittman. Dittman is this other street right here. Now, the Sheriff's Department has brought in K9. They're going to search that area here shortly. Also, on the park property, there were a lot of civilians out here, and as we understand it, 30 civilians, around 30 civilians, and some children are still held up inside this gym. They're waiting to be released. They want to make sure that they get a solid suspect description, and they're going to check these folks just to make sure that that person hasn't blended in. But as it stands right now, we understand at least 30 people still inside that gym waiting to be released. Jeff was talking about all these streets that are shut down. Let's show you the response out here and that command post. There is a large response out here, and K9 units and special search teams are actually making their way here just in case there is that 5th suspect that may still be on the loose. This is part of the command post right there. Some of the suits have arrived here as well. That's going to be detectives, and they're going to start that investigation on that deputy-involved shooting portion of this scene. Again, good news. We hear those 2 deputies in stable condition brought to USC Medical a couple miles away by fellow deputies in another squad car. Also, something of a note that may be affecting some of the public out here, northbound 5 freeway at Dittman, they've got that off-ramp closed just to emergency vehicles. You can see the flares right there. So that is creating a little bit of slowing, and if that's your off-ramp, just be wise, it's going to be shut down probably for most of the night. Now, this is a large crime scene, and a portion is going to be a search area here shortly. Sheriff's deputies, they have their hands full. Investigators will be working here for quite some time. Again, though, one suspect dead, 2 deputies in the hospital, another suspect injured, a couple in custody, and 1 possibly outstanding. So it's going to be a busy night for the LA Sheriff's Department this evening in the East LA area. Live in Sky 9, I'm Stu Mandel. Back to you two in the studio.
And Stu, as you put it, that one suspect that is outstanding, would we assume that that might be a person that's armed? I mean, after all, this was a gunfight that happened at Salazar Park. I would assume the police are going forward in that search, assuming that he has a weapon.
Well, nobody's been talking about that, but Jeff, that is very top thinking right there, and I'm sure the deputies are going to take this type of situation very, very seriously. The canine units that are arriving out here, we've been kind of looking at them. Most of these guys in full gear, meaning Kevlar helmets, body vests, and etc. Even one of the dogs we saw earlier, I hope I can find him once again, wearing a bulletproof vest. So you are right, they're taking this extremely seriously. That's one part of the command post right there, and as Jeff was talking about, they even brought in the Bearcat. That is probably just to transport some of the SWAT guys that are out here. Multiple canine units, though, have been arriving to this scene. They are going to do a very thorough search of the area. And again, that search that they're going to be looking for is just going to be south of the park right there. And that's going to be off of Hicks and Dittman. That's going to be the area right there. Deputies are staging, but they've been told to wait before they start their search. Right now, we're still waiting. And you can see a number of those vehicles right there. Those are all canine units, and then there were some at the command post as well.
And Stu, do we still not know if the 2 people who are in custody or the person who died from the shooting earlier, if any of those were the people who actually shot the shots to the deputies?
Well, that type of information is probably going to be held very close to the deputy's vest for a long time in this investigation. Unclear on all of that. We do know that that one person that is deceased here on scene, we heard it earlier on from gunshot. So we don't know, though, like Jeff was pointing out, it's so early in this story that we don't know. In that type of situation, a shootout, suspects, untrained people with weapons, that person may have actually been hit by a bullet not from a deputy. Sure. Obviously, all this is going to be figured out here later on, but we do know 1 in the hospital, 1 suspect in the hospital. We heard earlier on 2 suspects in custody and 1 suspect deceased here. Obviously, though, the deputies, that's the ones that we're worried about and concerned about. They're at the hospital right now. We're just getting information that they're in fair condition, which is great news. We heard earlier on that they were, as the terminology was loose, they were okay, but we didn't know exactly what that meant.
Okay, Stu Mandel, we'll continue to keep you updated here on KCAL 9. By the way, we understand that those 2 police officers, just given that fair condition by Stu, are at USC Medical. We'll have a live update from USC Medical coming up here on KCAL 9.